We're talking about procrastination, goal setting, and I'm going to give you 3 simple tips to help you deal with procrastination, help you prioritize, and really reach the goals that you have identified for yourself, both professionally, perhaps in your business, but also actually in your personal life actually as well. So this is a topic, actually, it came up this past week. I was talking to one of our clients doing some executive coaching with him, and he was saying, Karen, I just don't have any time. I don't have any time. So here's the first tip, everybody. This is the first tip, and it's super simple. And once I tell it to you, you're going to be like, oh, why have I actually not thought about it? The first thing that I want you to think about is take the word, well, actually, let me back up. I want you, first of all, to think about a goal that you have had, a goal that you've actually had. Maybe it's growing your business, delegating to your team, exercising, renovating the kitchen, that kitchen you've always wanted to renovate. Maybe it's actually going back to school. Maybe it's really working on your marriage. I want you to think about a goal or a dream that you've had for actually a very long time, that it's just kind of been parked. It's up on the shelf. It's there. You kind of think about it, but nothing's really happening with it. Then I want you to think about, why have I not done anything about that? Why is that precious goal and dream that I have, why is it sitting and collecting dust on the shelf? And now what I want you to do is we're going to pull it right in front of you, and we're actually going to apply these 3 tips to that and see which one actually, which one can really help ignite, awaken you to really start taking action to achieve this goal. All right. So start thinking just really practically, what is that dream, that goal, that one goal that you really want to do? So tip number 1, try to take the word "it did not happen" out of your vocabulary. This is something that I hear all the time. I see all the time in psychology. We call it externalizing. Okay. So it's basically saying, if let's say the goal that I have is exercising, you'll often hear people say, well, it didn't happen. Or if we talk about, growing your business, it didn't happen. Or we talk about not renovating our kitchen, it didn't happen. Who is the it? There is no it. It is not a person. You know who the person is? Us. We're the person. And so what I want us to do, first tip here we go. First tip, I want us to personalize and take ownership and own it, saying, I did not prioritize. I did not prioritize that goal in my life. And by actually taking ownership, okay, what we're doing is we're actually taking control back in our life. Because when we say it's almost like there's external forces that have kind of come in and invaded our life and we can't do anything about it. And we feel kind of like a victim, which this is totally not true. We all have control over our life. As adults, we can decide, what am I going to say yes to? What am I going to say no to? And so it's really important when we actually are talking about goal setting. First tip is we want to make sure that we are owning our goals. This is a goal that I have, and I'm either going to prioritize it or I'm not going to prioritize it. And listen, we can't go after all of our goals at the same time. All right. So obviously we have to be realistic about it, but we want to really make sure that we are owning our own life. Okay. So that's tip number 1, is try to take out the word it and replace I have prioritized this goal or I have not prioritized this goal. So just a little bit, just pay attention to that. Tip number 2 is really understanding around procrastination. For a lot of people, a lot of us can relate to this, where we have these precious goals in our life and we push them to the side. We park them and we procrastinate. So let's just kind of talk about procrastination here for a second, because there's a few different reasons why people procrastinate that I want to kind of highlight. One of the reasons sometimes is that there's no plan. Like, we have this idea, we have this dream, and a dream without a plan is exactly what that is. It's a dream. Every dream needs a plan. So we have dream and we have a plan. If you have just a dream, it's just really an idea. So all of your dreams, all of your precious dreams that you have, it needs a plan. If it doesn't have a plan, what happens is it just kind of, like a lot of us do, we just actually don't prioritize it. So sometimes we procrastinate because we just have not stopped to really put pen to paper and actually start thinking about the plan. Sometimes we procrastinate with our goals because we're a perfectionist and it has to be perfect. If everything is not completely lined up and we don't have everything absolutely perfect, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We don't make it happen. We were hosting a mastermind this past weekend. We were talking with, it's for business leaders, and we were talking with our entrepreneurs around, like, if you're going to start a business, what's one of the first things, what would be one of your recommendations to other entrepreneurs? And it was interesting. One of the leaders, they said, just start. So many of us will have ideas, but we put barriers in front of ourselves because we're so afraid that everything has to be so perfect. And the problem is that perfection does not exist. So it is really important just to kind of let go of perfectionism, especially when we're talking about goal setting. And so that is a really important thing. And sometimes we procrastinate because maybe we're not clear. Maybe we're not really clear on the goal. Maybe it's kind of, we've kind of thought about it and we've kind of dreamed about it, but we haven't really clarified and been specific with what that goal is. And so we want to make sure that we let go of procrastination and really lean into it and strive for excellence. Strive for excellence, not perfection, so that we can really achieve our goals. So we have to deal with procrastination. A lot. We all do. I do, you do, we all have to. The third tip, and this is really with where everything really starts to get traction, is we need to create a plan. So every goal that you have needs a plan. Like I said earlier, so every dream, every goal needs a plan. If it doesn't have a plan, then it just kind of floats, right? It floats in our brain. So this is a tool that we've taught in some of our other videos, but I'm going to highlight it for you here again. I talk about it in the 3 Chairs book. And by the way, if you like this content, if you like what you're hearing, you're learning, subscribe to our YouTube channel here. You can go to dkleadership.org, dkleadership.org, O-R-G, and sign up for our email newsletter there as well. We've got lots of free content and videos that we share with our communities. So if you like this content, let's keep learning together. So the third tip is, like I said, every dream, every goal needs a plan. And so, well, how do you actually kind of create that plan? So here's what I want you to do. Think about, again, that goal that you have not prioritized. You haven't prioritized it. And let's be honest, we can't go after all goals at all times. And sometimes there might be a goal where we're lacking resources or money or time to do it. We can only do so much, right? So take one of the goals that you actually have, one of the dreams that you actually have, that you're like, yes, this is the year, I'm going to do it. This is the year, I'm going to basically put my plan together and step on the gas. So look over your goals that you actually have, and I want you to think about one goal. And then I'm going to kind of go through our process with you. The first thing we call it LENS. This is our own acronym that we have helped people in terms of getting and achieving their goals, both in their businesses as well as in their personal life. So the acronym spells LENS. The first thing I want you to do with your goal, so let's say your goal is to renovate your kitchen. L stands for list. So what I want you to do is put pen to paper and list every single step that you need to do in order for you to achieve that goal. Just make every single step. So, creating your designs, going through magazines, talking maybe to a designer, talking to friends, picking your style, figure out what's L stands for list every single thing that you need to do to actually start and finish that particular goal. E stands for estimate. So you go through every one of those steps and you estimate in brackets in terms of how long each of those steps is going to take. So some of them might take 5 minutes. Some of them might take 3 hours. So you kind of go through every single line item and estimate how long that step is actually going to take. The N stands for number. So now what you do is you put it in the right order. So some things have to happen before others. So for example, you've got to get your designs. Maybe you've got to hire a contractor. You've got to get things kind of installed before you actually bring the painters in. So you have to kind of put it in the right order for yourself. And S, the last step, is schedule. So you basically pull out your calendar and you actually start saying, okay, these are the steps that I have to do. This is going to be like a 6-month project. I'm going to pull out my calendar and I'm going to start scheduling when I'm going to do each of the steps. I'm old school, everybody. You know how a lot of people ask me, how do I get so many things done? You know how? This is my little schedule. I'm old school. I don't do electronic. I do old school pen to paper. This is my calendar. My husband and I, we're business partners. We also run, we've got a few different businesses together. We also have a family life. People say, how do you get so many things done? This is how we get things done. We figure out what are the priorities that we want to tackle in the year. Some things we need to push off till next year or in the next quarter. So you only want to kind of focus on a few things at once, but you need a plan for each of the goals. And one of the things we've also learned is only take on one new thing at a time. That's one of the things that we've actually found. But what I've just taught you, this lens tool, this is how we get things done. This is how you get rid of procrastination. You prioritize what is most important to you, both in your business as well as your personal life, and help you achieve your goals. This is how you do it. So good luck, everybody, and let us know how it goes. Put your comments in under this video. Let us know how it goes, and if you need more tips and tools as it relates to goal setting and dealing with procrastination, send us a message as well.